Hey guys, Huju here. We finally have both of my timbers built. And you may be wondering why I'd have two timbers. And I think about that a lot these days, especially when you have you get this brand new maul out there that's really much more capable. Has you can use two different batteries in it, 4S and 3S, but I end up with two timbers. But the story behind it is this one here on the left. This is my primary flyer. This is the one that's been getting all the flight time. I've had it for 2 years. I nosed it in last summer. When I lost it, I took my eyes off it for a second to look at my radio, and I went back up and looked back up, and it was already nosing into the ground. And it had some pretty extensive damage on the front. In fact, the nose behind the cowling was split in half and it was twisted. The battery tray had separated. I mean, there was a little bit of damage. Some of the engine mounts were still mounted, but it was all twisted up. Oh, here comes a car. They'll let it go by. Two cars. Yeah, I live on a busy road. But anyway, the repair looked like it's going to be pretty extensive. And I wasn't sure. I knew I could repair it, but I wasn't sure whether it was going to fly with the right flight characteristics ever again. So I went ahead and bought the second timber, assuming that this one was not going to be very good when it was all over. So this was going to be my backup for it. Well, it turned out that this one ended up flying pretty well after I rebuilt it. Actually, it looks pretty good after I rebuilt it. I mean, you can see there's some evidence of damage there. You can see the crack line right through the decal there, all glued. But essentially, it looks like a fairly normal timber. So yeah, patting myself on the back, I think I did a pretty good job with it. So this one here got delayed being built. But I finally did get it built. Just yesterday I got all the leading edge slats on there. So it's the same airplane essentially. One has a 6-channel Spectrum receiver in it, non AS3X, because originally it had a Tactic in there. I just put this current spring, excuse me, I just put the Spectrum receiver in there, mainly because I got a Spectrum radio now. It has a Eagle Tree Guardian for a stabilization unit. The new one, this is my test platform here for the Lemon Stab Plus receiver. I have 3 of those receivers for, one for this plane and the other 2 for other airplanes. So this is going to be my test bed for it. It's all programmed and it's ready to go. Similarities, everything's pretty much set up the same way. Of course, the main difference is the color of the slats. These slats here have taken a beating and been repainted several times over. I painted these ones red. This one right here, I painted it red just to differentiate between the two. I also went ahead after I painted it red and applied packing tape to the slats. There's also packing tape on the leading edge underneath it, just to give it some impact resistance. Both airplanes have the tape on the stabs and the rudder. They both have that. They both have, I'm going to lower my flaps here for you. They both have the flap extension markers. I have the red, it's actually red electrical tape. And it displays the red as the flaps get lowered.
Landing flaps. Takeoff flaps.
Both airplanes have that.
Flaps up.
This one needs a slight slight flap adjustment. I may not do it. I can just barely see a slight differential on the two, but that's okay. But that's the two timbers, and that's the story behind the two. You know, I think about it all the time. I think now, I said, man, if I had just waited a little while, and if I had known this was going to be such a good flyer when I got done repairing it, it'd be back to normal again. I could have just waited and got a M7 maul, and I would have had a good maul airplane and a timber. But nope, I was in a hurry, and it was last summer, so I went ahead and got the timber, second one. These two are pretty large and they take up some space. They do take up some space, so I don't see myself getting a maul now. I mean, I don't really like the maul. It's just, it's got such capabilities that are attractive to it. But what I don't like about the maul is it squats too low. It's just like a little stumpy airplane. It kind of squats too low for me. It doesn't look as cool to me. But the capabilities it have, or the capabilities that it has, is really attractive. But because I have two of these, I don't see myself getting one of those. Alright guys, oh, the other difference, I did make one more difference on this. The way the wings detach. On this one here, the original, let me get this radio off my head. On the original, I had the wings taped together and the joint, I believe, is glued in. So it's a one-piece wing. So man, this is a busy place this morning. So when I take the wing off here, it comes off in one long piece, and I just disconnect the wires. It kind of makes it a burden for transport. I have to set this thing in my truck from caddy corner. One wingtip is up in the passenger front, and the other wingtip goes across through the middle, split in the seats to the rear driver's side. Kind of hard to carry that because it's always shifting around. This one, it's a little bit longer to hook up. Not really, but slightly. I do have tape across the top here, but it's separated. So these two can still separate. I have one side of this attachment taped down in place. Not glued, but taped down in place. The other side is not. So when I take the wing out, take these screws out, take the wing out, the end that's not secured, the end of this attachment that's not secured, can pivot out of the way, and I can slide one wing off the tube. That way I can transport the wings separated, easy to transport, and when I reattach them, all I got to do is slide the tubes together with the wings, one wing tilted away from the other, slide the tube in, or wings together through the tube. Then as they come up together, I can pivot the one wing back up into this attachment fitting and screw it down. So that's how I'm using this one. A little bit of a modification as far as for transportation. Alright guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.